Okay. So on page 404, top of the page, talk about symmetry. Lines of symmetry are where you can draw a line, fold it over, and it matches exactly. So which of these shapes has at least one line of symmetry is the question. Right? So before we even go on, I want you just to look at it and circle what you think which shape has at least one line of symmetry. Just circle what you think has at least one line of symmetry. You do not need to draw where the line is. Just go ahead and circle it. Give you 20 seconds. Yes, Trayvon? Just circle.
Can you put more than one?
Yes. If you think all of them have a line of symmetry, circle all of them. If you think none of them have a line of symmetry, do not circle any of them. Okay. Now you could trace the shapes out. Okay. And if you trace them, then cut them out, then folded them, or if you just cut them out and fold them, you would figure out which ones had a line of symmetry. The first one does not. The first one does not have a line of symmetry. Okay, it's just like a rectangle. When you fold it over, no matter where you divide it, it will not match up. The second one, the pentagon, looks like a house. You can go right down the middle and fold it. The hexagon, or how many sides is that? Yeah, hexagon, the six-sided shape, you go from any corner to corner. Okay? That is where the lines of symmetry are. So remember, yes, Harper. If I fold this down, these will not match up. Well, here's our question. Parker says, what about if you fold it that way? So I'm going to cut it out of Parker's. We're going to see. That's the one way to do it. You guys do not have to do this. But if you remember the rectangle from yesterday, Parker, the reason you can't, but we're going to try it. It's the only way to figure it out. Yes, if you guys want to cut it out and try to fold it, go for it. Parker, like a good student, questions. Just doesn't take it for word. So Parker, I want you to fold this on the line. Go ahead and fold it from corner to corner and see if it matches up. Does it match up? Well, it does not match up anywhere. Okay? It looks like, oh, it should, but it doesn't. When you fold it, that corner goes over there. Okay. I'll bring it up here. Go corner to corner. There's always going to be things sticking out with rectangles or rectangular rhombuses. Technically, yeah, rectangular rhombuses. Okay, but that's good thinking. Always try. It does not hurt to try. Figure it out. Don't just take my word on it. Don't take the book's word on it. Even if I tell you I am correct, don't question me. Question me. A good student, a good person always questions. Okay? So cut it out, fold, and then, oh, yep, Mr. Charles right. It doesn't work. Yes? No, the sides are equal. That's not the reason. Oh, do you mean, because if you look, it doesn't necessarily have to have equal sides. Like an isosceles triangle, the two sides here are the same, but then the bottom's not. It just depends on the angles. That's what it depends on. But yes, for a rectangle, that is why for a rectangle. Okay? But for the rectangular rhombus, it's let's see. I never really thought of wording it that way. Because some shapes, like the pentagon, you can see that the bottom segment and the two that are going straight up might be the same, but then the two slanted sides are different, but those line up. So sometimes they can have different, other times they can't. I mean, it just depends on the shape. Depends on the shape and the angles. Okay? So now if we look on 405, so does the parallelogram have any lines of symmetry? Why or why not? Go ahead and explain. That's what we just were talking about. We were just talking about that. Mallory wrote down her book in Proton. Okay, what did you write down? What did you write down for that? Nobody? Nobody wants to say what they wrote down? Go ahead. No, because they don't match up, okay? And I mean, there's really not a right or wrong answer for this. Just gonna look and see what the official book says on this one. It's gonna be something very probably similar to what Cohen just said. It says no. There are no places where the figure can be divided into parts that fit exactly on top of each other. Okay? Yeah. No. That's pretty much what Cohen just said. Number 3, how many lines of symmetry are in the pentagon? So look at the pentagon. Pentagon is a 5-sided figure. So look at the pentagon. It's the middle shape. How many lines of symmetry does a pentagon have? How many lines of symmetry does a pentagon have? Does anybody that's at home want to answer this one? Well, it says how many lines of symmetry are shown in the pentagon, I should say. So how many are shown on the previous page? One. One just right down the middle. Now go ahead and answer the, are there additional lines of symmetry? Okay. Answer, there are additional lines of symmetry. So number 4. In the pentagon, are there any other than that one line? Why or why not? Bless you. How do you know? Number 4. Of any other lines, and how do you know? How, yes or no, Parker, and how do you know?
Yes, the Pentagon has other lines, and it shows the lines that's moving.
Oh, Pentagon's the middle one. Okay, does the middle one have any more? Not the hexagon. Brianna?
Yes, because if you put a line straight through the middle,
But it's saying it doesn't have any more than just that one.
Yeah.
Right there? So according to Brianna, have out another book. Nice and peaceful cut. I'm a very good cutter. I cannot draw at all. I'm a decent cutter. It's the only part of our class I like. Okay. Where's this one? So, Brianna thinks that right down the middle there. What's going to happen when I fold it over?
the top part's gonna go over the bottom.
Those match up. As you can see, does not match up when folded over. But only, did you do that? Okay, just making sure. It only has that one down the middle. Okay? And there, all the other lines, something will stick out. All right? All right. What?
I have another answer.
What's your other answer?
I said yes because you can fold it on one side right there and you can also fold it on the other side.
All right, that's I think what Brianna's doing now. She's trying to figure that out. So you're saying if I go from here to here, one, that's still the same line. That's still in that same line. Okay.
I have a different answer.
What's your different answer?
I said no because I noticed on most, well, on all of the line shapes that I've seen that have lines of symmetry, I've noticed that all of the angles on them are the same types of angles, and the shape in the middle doesn't have the same type of angle on all four of them.
I like that observation. Because Sam realized that, wait a minute, the bottom are 90 degrees, where the other ones, we have some obtuse and some acute angles. Okay? That's a good observation. I don't know if it'll work out for everything. Okay, but that's a good observation. Because you have to match up the 90 degree with the 90 degree. The only way to do that is to fold it over. You have to match up the obtuse and the obtuse. Only way to do it is to fold it directly over. Okay. Now 5, the hexagon has 6 equal sides, 6 equal angles, 6 line of symmetry. Why do you think this is true? Might want to think about what Sam just said. Sam's explanation might be a good reason for this one. Okay. Well, I should see your mouth and your nose all at the same time. Yes. This one. Yeah, because that on the other side, it's the same line. Man, too bad we already had our fire drill for the month. It would be an excellent day to have a fire drill.
No, it wouldn't. It's freezing out.
It's not
We had a
freezing
It's
out.
It's only minus 35 degrees.
It's not minus 35 degrees.
Literally negative.
It is. Let's see what it is currently. Is 23. Wind chill feels like 8.
Seriously?
That would be great to go outside
No.
without our coats and stand for 15 minutes.
No. Perfect.
That would be, none of you guys would complain.
Yes, I would turn into ice cream by the end.
I know. If this was the last day of the month, because you have to have it legally, we have to have it once a month. Okay? If this was the last day of the month, Mr. Skaggs would tell everybody that we were going to have a fire drill. Make sure everybody has on their winter coats. Okay? Or what we did one year, it was a winter break, you realized we didn't have December. So it was like after school. What are you doing, Morgan? So after school, like the teacher, we just had to check and then go outside, like, yep, just to check it off. So, but no, we will not be able to
Why
fight
do you
with
guys
it.
have to speak into walkie-talkies?
What?
Why do you guys have to speak into walkie-talkies?
Speaking of walkie-talkies,
Yeah.
because they're checking to make sure. Yes, I have. My class is all out here, and all my students are accounted for. So let's say, yeah, it's a sidetrack, but that's fine. If it was a real fire, okay, and Cruz and Cohen were in the bathroom, okay, we all go outside the fire. I count up, I'm missing 2. I said, I have all mine except for I'm missing Cruz and Cohen. They would be smart and just go out with the nearest class. And then somebody would say, oh, I have Cruz and I have Cohen. So then check, all my kids are accountable. Okay? That's why,
Just like stop going to the bathroom, don't wash your hands, and go to the nearest class.
yes, obviously, if you're ever in the bathroom and the fire drill sounds, you stop going to the bathroom. You exit as soon as you can. Okay?
No, you turn on the sink.
I
Make it
You don't
flush.
sit there and go, oh, hang on, I need to take my minute to wash my hand. No, you go. It's an emergency.
No, you plug the sink drain.
Stop.
and you turn on the-
Emmy, just stop. Stop. Yeah, you would just get out because it's emergency. So you would just go.
Has there ever been a fire here?
There has not been a fire in a school for decades, like anywhere in the United States. Okay?
Yeah, there was a tornado.
There was a tornado, but yes. But what?
That live.
You barely.
It was 2012.
Oh,
I was like-
Hang on. It was when.
I was one.
It was. Hang on. It was 2000. It wasn't 2012. Because the triplets were in kindergarten. They were born 2008. So it would have been 2013, 14 school year, I believe.
I was like 4 when that tornado hit, and I was in my grandma's basement.
You were 4.
Wait, because I was 3 in 2010.
My parents said that I was just a small baby.
Yes, you would have been like 2 or 3 when that happened. So yes.
I
You
never
were-
knew that you could be in purple on a radar.
Okay. Anyway,
2. Night tracking.
why do you think there are 6 lines of 7th Street? What do you think? It doesn't say why. This is why do you think? Kind of like Sam put it in his own words. I'm not going to call you Sam because basically,
gave away the answer, so why are you gonna even ask?
I'm curious if maybe somebody has some other ideas, Gavin.
I put basically the same thing Sam said. Every single angle is obtuse.
All the angles are the same size, same. Okay.
So, I said, like how you showed me, like it has on, if you split it up in half and you fold one side and you fold the other all the way,
Mhm.
it would still be the same.
Okay.
So, that's why I did 6 9 and 22.
Okay. The official answer. Each line of symmetry connects opposite equal sides or opposite equal angles. There are 3 pairs of opposite equal sides and 3 pairs of opposite equal angles. That's 6 lines of symmetry.
But isn't there a line?
Nope.
Don't argue with the book of rules.
Watch. If you don't count this side and this side.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's just here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because then you're back. Okay. Yes. It does seem like there's more. You have to remember the line that starts on one end and goes to the other. That's one line, not 2. Okay. Now, number 6. Explain how you can figure out whether or not a line that divides a shape in 2 is a line of symmetry. Okay. How can you figure that out? I'll let you. Sorry, was that loud? Okay, you're covering half a mouth and 0 a nose. Don't look back. Don't. Actually, yeah, you may mask shame him. That's fine. I'm fine with mask shaming. Is that like a dead mouse in the bottom of your orange shoes? Oh, it's a mold mix. I
Oh, what is that?
I was making sure. Okay, come on, sit up, Brian. Come on. You got another minute? The more time you spend, the less time Nick is going to have to do his NWA. You don't want to give Nick as much time as possible, don't we? Will you influence him, please? He's sucking on his cord instead of having a mask over his mouth. He actually wants everybody to be quarantined. He's opening, he gets COVID. Then I'm saying, well, he never wears his mask, same thing with Cohen. So we're going to have to go 6 feet out. And these people are going to be sent home.
Yes, mommy.
And all you have to do is wear a mask.
No,
And then you wouldn't.
Wait, didn't you say if they were wearing masks the whole time, they would have to be quarantined? The people
What?
around them? Didn't you say, like, if Lily had to be quarantined, what if she was wearing her mask?
If she's wearing her mask,
What if
I see, but also TSC has not adopted that yet. That's just something the state put out there. Stop. Okay. What? They haven't sat there and said, yes, we will. Because right now they have a set of rules. They have to sit there and change the rules.
There's someone on the roof.
What? Squirrel. Okay. Cohen, what did you write down for number 6? What? You don't get. Why didn't you raise your hand and ask?
I got it.
Go for it, Cruz.
You fold it right down the middle.
Fold it right down the middle.
Like the shape.
Okay.
If it fits perfect in the line of symmetry.
Okay. How can you, without folding it, if it just shows you a shape, red dashed line, how can you figure out if that's an actual line of symmetry?
You imagine?
No, not you imagine. Ooh, you're close. I'm gonna have Sammy answer this one.
I can figure out how a line divides a shape into two parts is a line of symmetry by cutting the shape into 4 equal sides and seeing if they're all the same length.
Okay. How do I know if we look at the hexagon? How do you know that that will? What do you have to look at? Think about opposite. Think about opposite.
I know. I just thought of it.
You just thought of it? Awesome! But Parker's had her hand up for a while. Parker.
If you can tell by each side, if you were to draw a line in the middle, you could tell if they both have the same type of sides.
Okay. Finley. Okay. You look at the opposite angles. What about them? Cover your nose, Ben. If they're the same size angles, opposite, okay, parts, same explode.
See if they're parallel lines.
If they're parallel, okay.
See if both sides are the same length.
So you see if the opposite, if the angles that are going to match up are the same angle, if the sides are the same length, okay, and it goes down the middle of them, it will be a line of symmetry. All right? Go ahead and do the try it, please. Which one has the greater lines of symmetry? Which one has a greater line of symmetry? You don't have to say why or why not. You just have to sit there and circle your choice. All right, so we have that would be an octagon. We have an octagon, an 8-sided polygon. We have a star, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sides. You getting ready to sing? What? Not right now. Raise your hand if you remember we have an octagon and a star. Raise your hand if you said the octagon has more lines of symmetry. Okay? Raise your hand if you say you know what? It kicked me out of the meeting.
Well, you just not realize that? I noticed that like the entire time I was about to ask.
No, it's not another window. I don't think. Maybe it is.
You're still recording.
Yeah, I'm recording. Oh, so yes. Okay, so yes, So have you guys been able to hear and see everything?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I just looked up and yeah, because I am on a different everything. Okay, so we're at that last. I'm not even gonna go back to it. Okay, so raise your hand again if you chose the octagon. Okay, raise your hand if you chose the star. It is the octagon. It is the octagon. The octagon.
Whoa. You have to cross at least once.
If you look at the star, star only is going to have
Maybe cross 3 times.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. That's at the point. Okay, for the star. For the octagon has 8. Right, octagon has 8. All right. Questions on this? So symmetry should be pretty straightforward. Hold it, it matches. Okay? Now for homework tonight, math practice and problem solving. 421, 422. 421, 422. At home, after you've done it, take a picture of it, email it to me. Okay? Or put it on Dojo. 421, 422. Okay, so. Okay, any questions before we log off? No?